The Dark Tower is directed by Nicolas Jarcel, co-written by Nicolas Jarcel, Jeff Pinker, Akiva Goldsman, and Anders Thomas Jensen, and it stars Idris Elba, Matthew McConaughey, and Tom Taylor. And this tells the story of Jake, a boy who has dreams of another world where this uber gigantic dark tower raises up to the sky, and this man in black, played by Matthew McConaughey, is trying to destroy it by kidnapping children from Earth. And suddenly Jake finds himself in this new world. He finds out everything is real, and he meets the gunslinger played by Idris Elba, and they together must stop the Men in Black from accomplishing his evil plans. I have never read the Dark Tower series, but after this movie, for better or worse, I am definitely interested. I still remember walking into a comic book shop about 6 years ago and seeing the comic books of The Stand, The Gunslinger, The Dark Tower, and every variation and subtitle among these. And this movie shows a lot of promise in this world with this mythology. Our three main stars all do a very good job. I was impressed by the kid, Tom Taylor, playing Jake. He is very good in this movie with what little material he has, and I'll get to the material in a bit. But I really like this kid. I like his reactions. I like how he absorbs everything that is said and everything that he sees. I like his relationship with his mother a lot. I really felt the little they gave to his character as this movie started going. And Idris Elba is great. He is a badass. He does a lot of these action sequences that are incredible. Not sure if there was a stunt double. If there was, they hit it very well because Idris Elba shines in every moment of this film. What little character he has, he makes the most of it. There's a little, and I mean little, backstory to him, but you can feel everything that this character is feeling just because Idris Elba is great. And Matthew McConaughey also is great. I really like Matthew McConaughey. He's full of swag and charm and charisma. He is pure evil, but everything he does in this movie, and some of his lines are very funny. He brings this demeanor out of the Men in Black that is very, very funny. And there's a fish out of water element to the story of Jake and to the story of the gunslinger. We spend half the movie in Midworld and we spend half the movie in New York City. And when the gunslinger goes to New York City, there are some very funny interactions going on, and I really like the chemistry he had with Jake. Their journey together, of course, starts off in the wrong way. They don't really like each other or care for each other, but they evolve. The problem is the script for this movie. Everything here is so interesting as it is presented to you. This world, the beliefs and religions and the attitudes of these characters from Midworld, these demons and these powers and this mythos that surrounds everything around the Dark Tower and all. And it's all so superficial and so surface level. Nothing is explored. The first 20 minutes of this movie tell you right away a lot has been chopped out. A lot has been cut from this movie to make it go faster. And the problem is, even with this movie just being 90 minutes long, even with this movie going as fast as it can go, there is little action to be found in the first act and in the first half of the second act. The action sequences that you can find here are very good. They are very entertaining. They are fun action sequences, and they are kind of elongated ones, and they are uber fun. I like seeing Idris Elba killing all these demons and creatures. Whenever we have the Men in Black in actual action sequences, it's very good. I like how his powers work. I like how he uses them. But there is very little action. And look, I don't need action to surround my movies. But when you have constant scenes of people explaining things to each other and then they don't explore it any further, it gets kind of frustrating. We get presented to certain elements, certain ideas, certain concepts, but everything is said aloud. Everything feels like exposition, and everything after a while feels like repeated exposition. And even though I said I like the interactions between the Men in Black and the Gunslinger and Jake, the Jake and the Men in Black, there are some interactions in this movie that are very, very awkward. There's this girl played by this actress who was in the Neon Demon last year, and she is one of these maybe lizard people, I don't know, because we never see them. They use the skin of real humans to cover themselves. Why? I don't know, maybe to come to Earth, but why do they use it in Midworld? It's never explained. She's a very beautiful actress, and in the movie it's recognized by Matthew McConaughey's character that she is beautiful. But nothing ever comes out of that. I'm guessing it was just flirting or something, but it never really comes to fruition. Also, Jackie Earle Haley plays a small role in this movie. It's a very nitpicky thing that just stuck with me, so I have to talk about it. Immediately the first scene where you see him, Matthew McConaughey comes to him out of nowhere, and he's like, "Oh, it's Walter. What are you doing here?" And Matthew McConaughey replies to him, and immediately his demeanor changes, and he's like, "Oh, hi boss, so yeah, I can do that for you." So what was that whole interaction before asking what he was doing there? Because that is not the way you greet your boss, especially if you know him. And Matthew McConaughey in this movie, he shows that he's not a guy that you should mess with. Also, the movie establishes a lot of things that then it just throws away like it was nothing, and it means nothing. And it's frustrating because so many of these ideas are so interesting and they would be so cool to explore, and so many of these elements, visual and audible, and so many of this mythos is why I love fantasy. These things are why I love fantasy above any other genre of film. And they do nothing with it. They throw it away, they drop it, they tell you things, and that's the key. They tell you a lot of shit in this film, and they show nothing. They explore nothing, and you get out of the film feeling empty. I found myself constantly wanting to be interested, but then I was immediately disappointed because they just moved on. There's a lot to like visually in The Dark Tower. The effects, for the most part, are great. The acting on our three leads is great. Their characters don't have much, but what they do have, I can say it is interesting. Unfortunately, the movie falls completely flat because it leaves you with nothing. It leaves me personally with hope that they can do something with a TV show. I do really hope, and maybe after the TV show, if it is successful, it can be a series. But for the movie alone, whether you watch The Dark Tower or not, your heart will go on. But what did you think of The Dark Tower, my beautiful geekies? I am immediately ordering the first book because I want to read this. This is my shit right here. Let me know what you think of the movie, of the book if you've read it, and what do you want to see in the TV series, and if you do want to see a TV series. Let me know all that in the comments below. Tomorrow I have a review for Wind River and then Defenders on Friday, so I can't wait to see you there. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are the freaking best. I love you all from the bottom of my heart, and if you haven't done so yet, click the subscribe button and the bell so we can be geeky united!